So now we got to get into the summer of 2016, and it's the summer of 2026 is a major movie summer. A lot of big stuff coming out, and this reminds me a lot of the summer of 2026 or summer of 2016 when we also got a ton of releases. So let's just go ahead and do a breakdown of these movies. So May 2016, Captain America: Civil War. I don't think there's any arguing with the importance of this, and we were just talking about Marvel, so. That definitely was a big release. I enjoyed that one. I would recommend it. Neighbors 2. It was pretty good. Seth Rogen, you really can't go wrong with his comedy. I'm a big fan of his, but I would recommend it if you enjoyed the first one or you're just looking for a comedy. And then we also had The Nice Guys. Now, this one was really, well received. It was Shane Black who made it. And then you had Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling. So I think Gosling is one of the reasons why this movie was so loved, too. And then in May, also, you had X-Men Apocalypse. This one was actually a major disappointment from what I remember. People were comparing Apocalypse to Ivan Ooze from the Power Rangers movie. So that was kind of a harsh comparison. And then also in 2016, we had Alice Through the Looking Glass. Now, I didn't see this one, so I can't really speak on it. But I kind of like the way that it looked from the trailers. And then Money Monster. So Jodie Foster, George Clooney, Julia Roberts. I think this is Jodie Foster's movie. I did not also see this one. I did see The Darkness, which is a Blumhouse horror movie with Kevin Bacon. Now, this was interesting. I thought the trailer was scarier than the movie was, but it could have been a better movie for sure. So now we're into the month of June. We got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. This was a film I was so excited for, and I saw this one twice, actually. What I was excited about for this one was they put in Bebop and Rocksteady, which were the mutant warthog and rhinoceros. And they made that film so much more fun. Also, you got Casey Jones, so it was nice to see him in that too. And then Me Before You was another June release. It's a romantic drama. This was definitely a heartstringer. I would kind of recommend it, but it does have a strange plot to it. So, and then Pop Star Never Stop Stoppin'. I did not see this one, but it's supposed to be a funny mockumentary. And then The Conjuring 2. I would say the first Conjuring was really much better. I don't really remember a whole lot from The Conjuring 2, but the first one was good. And then Now You See Me 2. The first one wasn't bad. The second one, I don't know. I do want to see the third one, though, so that's on my list. And maybe we'll loop back and we'll talk about those in the future. Another June release, Warcraft. This was fun. I've seen this one a few times at home, and I don't know. It's just fun. I was never really into the games, but I do like the look of the film. And then Finding Dory was another June release, the sequel to Finding Nemo from Disney, and this was a major disappointment. People did not like this movie, I remember, because it didn't make the same cultural dent that Finding Nemo did at all. It was not even close. And then you had kind of a generic buddy comedy, Central Intelligence with Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart. And then Independence Day Resurgence was another June release. And this was so bizarre because it's like they waited so long. I think the original came out in 96. So they waited 20 years to release a sequel to that. And Will Smith wasn't even in it. So he's the best part of the first one. Jeff Goldblum, too. But Will Smith is definitely what makes Independence Day so much fun. So to not see him in it, I mean, they say his son is in it, and that's all right, I guess. But we want Will Smith if it's Independence Day and it's supposed to be a Will Smith movie. And then this was one of my movies of the summer of 2016. The Shallows came out in June. Blake Lively gets stuck on a rock as she's surfing, and there's this gigantic great white circling her. And what I loved about this movie was the great white was the perfect size, and it was behaving in a way that you'd think an animal would behave. It wasn't like a monster. Funny thing about the end of this film, and Houston locals and natives will understand this. At the very end of the movie, I saw it in the theater, and you show, it's the very end of the movie, and it's this white sandy beach, it's clear blue water, and all of a sudden lettering pops up on the screen. It says Galveston, Texas. The theater just started bursting out laughing. I mean, if y'all have been to Galveston, I think the water's cleared up, but you go to Galveston in 2016 and it does not look like you're in Cozumel or somewhere in Florida, for sure. So that's something to pay attention to if you ever see The Shallows. And then we had a historical war drama, Free State of Jones, and this was a Matthew McConaughey one. This was really well received. I remembered this movie. And then The Neon Demon. This was interesting too. Psychological horror, very strange film. I probably need to give it a rewatch. And we have moved on to July of 2016. So this was just packed to the brim. A lot of stuff in July. The BFG. Now, I love this book, and I have to go and actually watch this film. I think I've tried to watch it a few times, but now seeing that it's Steven Spielberg, I need to give it another shot. The Legend of Tarzan was a really good July release of 2016. Alexander Skarsgård, Margot Robbie, and the best part of that movie was Samuel L. Jackson. He is a lot of fun and has the best lines, for sure. And then we have The Purge election year. So this was, politically charged, and we're definitely not going to get political on this podcast, but this was an interesting one. I don't really like any of the Purge movies. Maybe I need to try and give them a rewatch, but I've watched the first one a bunch of times, and I'm not a fan. But The Secret Life of Pets was a one that was really well received. People loved that one. And then you had the comedy Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. So, R-rated comedy. You got Zac Efron, Adam Devine, and then the combination of Anna Kendrick and Aubrey Plaza made for a really good film. The Infiltrator was another July 2016 release. And, Bryan Cranston. Hard to go wrong with him, but I did not see this one. At Ghostbusters, now this one got a lot of hate because it was an all-female-led reboot. And I don't know, I thought it was actually a lot better than people gave it credit for. The one thing about it was, at the end, they did have a pretty cool scene of all these ghosts flooding the city. But I thought that they could have done the end maybe a little different. But I did like it. I'm not going to say that I disliked it, but I just expected something a little different. And then Star Trek Beyond. This was interesting to see, J.J. Abrams take us back through Star Trek. I'm assuming he probably was a fan growing up. And then the fifth Ice Age installment came out. It was called Collision Course. And people liked this one. And then Lights Out. I saw this one at the Dollar Theater. I waited until it was a bit cheaper, although there is no Dollar Theater in my area anymore, so that's kind of disappointing. But it wasn't bad. It was entertaining for sure. And then up next, we have Jason Bourne. So this was Matt Damon returning to the Bourne identity role, and I didn't see that one either, actually. And then Nerve A, this was a techno thriller. So you had Emma Roberts and Dave Franco. No, it's called Nerve. Okay, I do remember this one. This one was it was more entertaining than I thought it was. And then Bad Moms, Mila Kunis, Kristen Bell, Kathryn Hahn. It's hard to go bad with them. So we have moved on to August of 2016. This definitely wrapped the summer up. You got a lot of anti-hero movies, some stop-motion stuff, and some really good thrillers, too. So first up of August of 2016 in the movies, you had Suicide Squad. This was a lot of fun. DC, I love DC, y'all know. I would definitely recommend watching Suicide Squad. I've seen it so many times. I had it on my phone for a time, so it was one of those movies that I just watched over and over and over and over. I liked it. I love the sequel even more, although I think we need an Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. So let me know in the comments if y'all think we need a David Ayer cut for Suicide Squad. And then we had 9 Lives. This was a Kevin Spacey movie, and he gets stuck inside a cat. I need to go and see this one. That sounds interesting. And then Sausage Party was a Seth Rogen comedy with a bunch of food that is anthropomorphic. So they're talking and they have like society, and so that was bizarre, but it wasn't terrible. Pete's Dragon. This actually was pretty good. I do like Bryce Dallas Howard, and she does a really good job as the lead in that one. And then Florence Foster Jenkins. I haven't seen this one, but you got Meryl Streep and Hugh Grant. And it's based on a true story, it looks like. So Then we have Kubo and the Two Strings, another August release. And people loved this one. It was stop motion, but it seemed to like, I don't know, it was popular and it's kind of stayed in the public lexicon. People are still talking about it 10 years later. And then Todd Phillips made this movie called War Dogs. It was a dark comedy drama. This was fun though, but it was definitely interesting. You got two arms dealers, Jonah Hill and Miles Teller. And they're pretty much going to places where they shouldn't and selling things that they should not. So it's definitely a lot of fun. Then you had a Ben-Hur remake, which I don't know why they even did this one. I remembered it was one of my father's favorite films, but you know, I tried to watch it and it actually was just disappointing, more so than anything. And then Mechanic Resurrection. So Jason Statham, really hard to go wrong with him, and you know, he returned to form of what he did best in that one. And then we had Don't Breathe, which you got a sequel to it too. Fede Alvarez, and this one had Stephen Lang, and he does such an excellent job. He's an excellent actor. He's good. And the very final film that we had of 2016 of the summer, Hell or High Water. It's considered a neo-Western. It's a crime thriller. You got Chris Pine, Ben Foster, and Jeff Bridges is in this one too. I loved Hell or High Water. This one's a lot of fun, and I would highly recommend it. So, but y'all, please let me know what you thought about the movies of 2016 in the comments. Did y'all like them? Are there any movies that I missed? And, you know, which movies are y'all looking forward to here coming up in 2026? Well, Cinema Creatures, we are getting to the end here. So, you know, I want to thank you all so much for viewing. I just want to please remind everybody to remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, and, you know, follow for more of the Clown Around Cinema show. And also, message me your movies or any topics or anything for me to cover. And thanks for stopping by. And everybody remember to stay in the cinema.